So this class is about the paints and painting systems. Briefly, we will discuss about the what is a paint and what are the various ingredients of the paints and what are the painting systems that have been developed for our rolling stocks. That may be for the locomotives, coaches, and also for the wagons. And the objectives of this class I will just briefly tell. So after this class, you will be able to understand what is the corrosion. So what are the causes for this corrosion, and also what are the remedies available for combating this corrosion. Then you will understand that what is the definition of a paint and what is the purpose of the paint and why the painting is done. And what are the various factors that will affect the quality of the painting. Because the durability of the painting is very important, and the long lasting paint will have the impact on our economies. And what are the various steps available to improve the quality of painting, that we will
Sir,
discuss.
Sri Krishna, sir.
Yes.
Sorry for the disturbance, sir. Presentation full view పెట్టండి sir, అంతే full view.
Yeah, it is the full view. And what are the different paints used in the painting of railway locomotives, coaches and wagons and painting systems. Apart from this, I have given the various standards and specifications used for this painting also. Okay. First, we will see what is the corrosion. Corrosion, all of us know very well. This is the formation of the iron oxide or rust on the surface of the steel body. Or you can say that it is the deterioration of the metal when exposed to the atmosphere. Due to the atmosphere, this metal gets deteriorated. And you can see this equation also. That is the 4Fe plus 3O2 is equal to 2Fe2O3. That is the Fe2O3 is the rust. So rust is. Okay. So what are the causes? Causes also we are familiar. Just we will discuss. This is when the bare metals are exposed to the atmosphere, then it will lead to the corrosion. And any cracks in the painted surface or coated surface, like any cracks in the galvanizing, zinc coating or chromium plating, all this will lead to the exposure to the atmosphere and leads to the corrosion. Otherwise, when the metal comes in contact with the water or moisture, it gets corroded. And most importantly, the improper surface preparation before painting. Before painting, we need to prepare the surface. If this surface preparation is not done properly, then the failure of the painting will be more, and that will lead to the corrosion, and the life of this painting also will gets reduced. Otherwise, if the metals comes in contact with the acids, it will lead to the corrosion. And also we are using the different types of the material in the manufacturing of our rolling stock. So different materials, like we are using the IRS M41 and IRS M44, dissimilar metals we are using. Whenever these dissimilar metals are joined, that will lead to the bimetallic corrosion. So what are the effects of corrosion? Why this corrosion is our enemy? Why we consider the corrosion as our enemy? Because when the metals gets corroded, it results in the loss of material. The material was eaten away and the loss of materials will be there. That eventually leads to the loss of strength. That is the mechanical properties. You can say that ultimate tensile strength, yield strength, hardness, all this impact strength will gets reduced because of the loss of the material. So that is why it is our enemy, and finally it will lead to the more maintenance, and also that rolling stock will not serve to the fullest of its caudal life, and it will fail to serve the designed purpose. And also the surface looks very rough, and the rectification of this when the material is losses, so replacement of this material will take lot of time and effort and also money. That is why the prevention of corrosion is very much important. So what are the choices we have for preventing this corrosion. Can anybody say what are the various methods that we adopt to prevent the corrosion? You can respond.
Chrome plating, painting, anodizing.
Yeah, exactly. Chrome plating we use, galvanizing we use, and anodizing we use. Painting also we use. Okay. So any other methods? Let us see in this slide. It is given the remedies. One, because of the atmospheric, the corrosion is causing. So can we control the atmosphere? Controlling the atmosphere, is it easy or difficult?
Not possible, sir.
Yeah, controlling the atmosphere is a very difficult. Only under controlled atmosphere for a limited purposes, you can have a controlled environment where the sophisticated machinery and are used. There we can control. But our coaches are running in the open railways from length and breadth of this country. So it is very much difficult to control this atmosphere. So that choice is ruled out for our rolling stock. And the second one, the controlling the composition of metals. Composition of metals during the design stage or while selecting the materials for our manufacturing, we can have some control over that. So the impurities, by removal of impurities during the extraction or allying with suitable corrosion resistant materials like that. So you may recollect that earlier in the beginning we were using this IS 2062 carbon steels for manufacturing of our coaches. Later on IRS M41 has been developed. IRS M41 is a so lot of sounds are coming. So IRS M41 is a high tensile corrosion resistant steel. By changing the constituents composition of the material, we have achieved that high tensile and corrosion resistant IRS M41. Later on, we have developed this IRS M44.
ఆయన కనిపించడం మనకి పీపీటీ వస్తూ ఉంటుంది అంతేనా?
మీకు పీపీటీ కనిపిస్తుందండి. మధ్యలో డిస్కషన్ ఏదైనా ఉన్నప్పుడు నేను పీపీటీ కాకుండా ఇది పెట్టేస్తే మీకు కనిపిస్తుంది. ఓకే ఓకే, మీరంటే మ్యూట్ చేయండి. మధ్యలో మ్యూట్ చేస్తుంటే మనకు డిస్టర్బ్ అవుతుంటుంది. మీరు మ్యూట్ చేయండి. డౌట్స్ ఉన్నప్పుడు యూ కెన్ ఆస్క్. సో ద థర్డ్ ఆల్టర్నేటివ్ వాట్ వీఆర్ హ్యావింగ్ ఈజ్ ద introducing the barrier between the metal and atmosphere. That is the coach metallic surface and the atmosphere barrier can be introduced. So that will come in between and it will protect the metallic surface from the atmosphere and finally it will prevent the corrosion. Okay. So our class is aimed at discussing this painting, that is the paint film. That is the barrier between the atmosphere and the metallic surface. So you can see here, so what is a paint? The definition of paint is given. So the paint is defined as a unique homogeneous mixture of three major ingredients. So one is the binder, pigment and other volatile organic components, that is the solvents like a thinner. And also we add some additives for improving certain properties of the paint. So when these three mixture, when applied on the surface as a thin or a thick layer, that forms a solid, dry, adherent film which adheres to the metallic surface and it will protect it from the atmosphere. So the paint is a homogeneous mixture of the binder, pigment, volatile organic compounds and also some additives. So the purpose of paint, it has been explained. One is to avoid the loss of metal due to corrosion, and also this paint will delay the rusting, and also it provides a very good aesthetic look to the materials and the identification of certain type of rolling stock For example, we are using a different painting scheme for different types of coaches like Rajdhani, Shatabdi, Duranto and all. So by seeing itself, you can identify. And also a smooth, it will give, the painting will give a smooth surface for easy cleaning. So day in and day out, we are cleaning our rolling stock like a coaches. So it will facilitate, this painting will have a smooth surface and it will facilitate the easy cleaning. So the paint, that is why the painting is a very important process. So what are the various or main factors that will affect the quality of painting? After painting, how long it will serve the purpose? Okay. So one is the surface preparation. Surface preparation will affect the quality of the painting. I can say this is the one and single most important factor that will have the influence on the quality of painting. And the quality of paint itself, that will be from the manufacturer. And again, at our end, the quality of tools, that is the brushes or spray painting equipment that we use, will have the influence on the quality of painting. And very much it is the skill of the operator. If the painter don't have a required skills in the application of the paint, then again the quality of painting will get affected. And the atmospheric conditions. The atmospheric conditions under which we are applying this paint on our rolling stock. So these are all the main factors that will influence the quality of the painting. So we must consider and keep it in mind all these factors while doing the painting operation. So to improve the quality of the painting, the surface must be quite smooth, clean and free from dirt, grease and rust before painting. That can be ensured by proper surface preparation. And the surface must be quite dry. We should ensure that before the painting. And also atmospheric conditions, painting should not be done and in a rainy or foggy and a damp weather on a rainy day, we should avoid this painting. Again, the surface should not be too hot or too cold. And the paint should be applied in thin coats instead of thick single coats. We may choose single coat or double coat. So we can accordingly, we can mix the paint and we can choose to the required dry film thickness, we can adjust that. Never apply the subsequent coat. If at all, if you want to give 2 coats of paint, so unless the first coat is completely dried, you cannot attempt to do the second coat. So after the first coat is completely dried and it is flattened, then only you can go for the second coat. And the paint should not contain much of oil. So while mixing the paints, we should take care of. And also after mixing the paint, the painter will carry that in a small tin to the place of painting. And in between, the painter should stir this so that it will not get settled. Okay. And the painting, the surface to be painted also thoroughly washed. If the paint remover is used to remove the old paint. If at all we are painting, by removing the old paint, we should ensure that it should thoroughly washed. And painting brushes should be of good quality, required size, and the spray equipments maintained should be properly. After the one application, we should clean all this and we should maintain it good condition for the second and subsequent applications. Otherwise, the material will be wasted and also it will not give the proper desired purpose. So the constituents of paints, I already told, that is the binder, pigment and other solvents like volatile organic components like thinners and also some additives. We will see one by one. So what is its role? First we will see the binder. This binder is actually the film forming component. This is the paint film forming component and absolutely required ingredient of a paint. The binder, as the name indicates, it binds all other constituents of the paint, and also it will ensure the binding to the surface of the metal. As a binders, we are using many polymers. So based on that, we will call it as a painting. Alkyd, PU, epoxy, these are the resins: alkyd resin, polyurethane resin, and epoxy resin. So these are the binders we use. And also it will have the impact on the glass, that is the shining, the durability, and flexibility while applying this paint, and also the toughness of the film. These are all the important factors for the longevity of the paint on the surface of the rolling stock. And the second one is the pigment. Pigment is a color adding compound. Pigment will give the color to the paint. So the pigment shall have the higher refractive index. So this higher refractive index, that will scatter the light, and it will not allow the metallic surface to get heated, because of that leads to the corrosion. So we have to choose that higher the paints with the higher refractive index, and also higher refractive index will give the opacity. Opacity, I think you might have heard about this transparent materials, translucent materials, and opaque materials. Transparent, it is clearly visible one side the other, and the translucent, it is the partially visible, and the opaque, it is completely hide the surface. So the paint should have a quality of the opacity, because it will scatter the light. And normally this pigment is a very fine powder, and it the diameter of that paint pigment granules is ranges from 0.01 microns to the 5 microns. This will give the hiding power, that is the old surface will be hide while applying the new coat of the paint. So it is a brief about the purpose of the pigment. It imparts the color and completely hides the previous color, if any, on the surface, and protect the surface from harmful UV light. This ultraviolet rays, when this painted surface exposed to the sun, that will expose to the ultraviolet light, then that will spoil the metal surface. So it will prevent. Provides longer durability and improves the weathering properties. And thinners are solvents. These are the liquids used for viscosity adjustment for different applications, for hand brush or a spray painting. So we have to adjust the viscosity of the paint in a desired level. Okay. These are the solvents and the dilutants. This will not form the part of the paint film. This will evaporate after serving the purpose. And if you use the excessive thinner, that will dull the color, and also it will dull the glass. It will not give a shining look. And it will control the flow and application properties. So act as a carrier for binders and pigments. Help penetration into porous surfaces, because the paint will become thin and flow. It will flow into the porous surfaces. And this is also used to clean the brushes and other painting tools. So you may be knowing this widely used thinners are the turpentine oil, benzene, acetone, naphtha, and mineral spirits. And these are very well available in the markets, and we also use this mostly this turpentine oil, and for other reasons acetone we use. And some additives are used for specific physical properties. So normally it will be in the range of 5% in the paint, and it will prevent the clustering of the pigments. If you see what are the specific properties, then you can understand what are these additives. to impart antifreeze properties and to control foaming. While stirring and all, foam should not be formed. To control skinning. So if you are not using for quite a certain long time, so then the skinning, the top surface will form into the skinning, that much material will get wasted. And also some additives are there for improving the fire retardant properties and anti-settling properties. The binder will get settled at the bottom, and if you are opened and it is kept like that for a long time, and this binder will get settled at the bottom, and further we cannot use it, and we have to just throw it, and it is a waste. And also the accelerators, and to improve the flow properties, and also some plasticizers we use for maintaining the flexibility in paint film, and also the dryers to improve the rate of drying, that is the time required for drying of paint film when we are using 2 or more coats. Okay. And some inhibitors, where chemicals added to the paint to increase or modify the storing or keeping property, that is the storing shelf life, that will increase the shelf life. Okay. These inhibitors, it will also will be anti-skinning, and it will have the anti-settling and also anti-fouling. So these are all the essential ingredients. So apart from these 3 major constituents, and these are all required for the paint, for good performance of the paint. So far we have covered corrosion causes and remedies, and we have seen the definition of the paint and also the purpose of the paint, and we have seen what are the various factors that will influence the quality of the painting, and also what are the steps to improve the quality of the paints, and we have discussed about the ingredients of the paints. Then we will see the different paints used on our rolling stock. So alkyd system we were using, this has been replaced by the polyurethane paint, and also with the epoxy polyurethane paint, epoxy paint. So all the new coaches are coming with this polyurethane paint. All the LHB coaches are with the polyurethane paint. So we will see what is the process of the PU painting also in detail. So alkyd painting, we are very much familiar with this, and this is a single pack system. The paint will come in a single pack. For that we will add some thinners and all. We will make it consistent. So mix by adjusting the viscosity, either we can apply with the brush or we can apply with the spray painting that we were using. So actually this alkyd paint has some disadvantages, that is the durability is the less, and life of the painting is also less. Frequent paintings are required. So that is why we have been with the advent of the technology, we have been switched over to the polyurethane paint. However, you can see that this alkyd paint is a mixture of glycerol and phthalic acid that will give the alkyd resin. That is the binder. Okay. And the second one, this is the PU paint. So now we are accustomed to, because this PU paint or epoxy paint both comes in twin pack. So one pack will be a base, and another pack A is a base, and pack B is the hardener or catalyst. And this PU paint is a mixture of polyisocyanate and polyol that will give the PU resin. And then we will see what is the epoxy resin. It is also again a 2-pack system. It is a mixture of epichlorohydrin and bisphenol A. that will give the epoxy resin. So we need not to go into the details of these constituents of this epoxy PU and all, because we are mostly the users. Okay. Then painting systems. So we have the well-proven painting system for painting of our rolling stock. So it starts with the surface preparation, then application of the primer, then application of putty and fillers, then we will apply the undercoats, and then enamel paint, it will be a top or final coats. You can see once again, we will discuss in detail surface preparation and priming of a surface, application of putty and fillers, application of undercoats, and finally the top or final coats with the enamel paint. First we will see the surface preparation in detail, because surface preparation is the most important process that we have to do. So surface preparation is the process of removing the contaminants from the substrates like a dirt, oil, or any other foreign metal on the surface which comes in between the painting and metallic surface. It should be thoroughly cleaned, and it can be cleaned either by using some solvents like alkaline solutions, or you can remove it by the pickling or surface blasting. So again, the pickling process is the cleaning of the metallic surface by using some acids like a sulfuric acid, hydrochloric acid, and blasting is the process that we adopt for the manufacturing of the new rolling stock, and also for cleaning of certain components like a bogie components. This blasting process is used. So here the importance is once again it is stressed. This is the most single factor that influence the paint life is the surface preparation. It ensures no oil or grease on the surface. You can clean it with the petroleum, hydrocarbon solvents or other solvents. Or otherwise we can go for the grit blasting or shot blasting to the surface. After the grit blasting or a shot blasting, it should conform to the specification of ISO 8501. That is the rusting grades specification. In that it should conform to the SA 2.5. That is the surface samples are given in that. We have to compare after grit blasting whether we have achieved that standard or not. So this grit blasting or shot blasting will give the SA 2.5 of ISO 8509 rusting grade manual. And we can clean it with the compressed air also. So either you can clean it with the alkalines, or you can clean it with the grit blasting or shot blasting, and also you can clean it with the compressed air, or even with the water jet also we can clean the surfaces. But we have to choose what is best suitable for our rolling stock. So as I said, in the manufacturing units we are adopting this shot blasting or grit blasting, but in our workshops for long time we were doing for cleaning of this bogie component this sand blasting also. So as per the pollution control board norms, this sand blasting process has been not permitted. So either we have to do grit blasting or shot blasting, or we have to go for the chemical cleaning process. So the important thing is, after the surface is cleaned, within 4 hours you need to apply the primer. So why it should be done within 4 hours? Can anybody tell? So anybody can respond so that I will know that the class is going interactively.
If it is a bare metal,
Yes,
the again corrosion may take place, sir.
exactly.
Rust may
Yeah,
take place.
exactly. Because it is always exposed to the atmosphere. So again, the dirt may fall or other acids may fall on the surface of the rolling stock. And again, it is as good as it is not the surface is prepared. So that is why we should immediately after the surface preparation, we will go for application of the primer. Then only that surface is properly protected. And the blasting operation, either sand blasting or a grit blasting, is the operation of forcibly propelling a stream of shot or grit material through a nozzle against a surface under high pressure. Shots you might have seen that these are the steel balls of diameter 2 mm or 3 mm. So this will be collected in a chamber and it is mixing with the compressed air. It will be it will be thrown like a stream of jet. It will impinge on the surface of the metal, surface of the coaches or the rolling stock, and when it impinges on the surface, it will make an indent and it will clean the surface. And grit you may be knowing, that is the grit is either silicon carbide or aluminum oxide. That is what we use in the manufacture of our grinding wheels, like a sand like grains. These are the artificially manufactured very strong grits. So these grits are also used. Depending upon the standard of cleaned surface, what we require for paint application, we have to choose either shot blasting or grit blasting. Okay. Here we have given that the sand blasting, shot blasting, grit blasting, and wet blasting and hydro blasting with some other mixing some other slurries. Slurries we can use it. Okay. And here it is given just to tell about the importance of the surface cleaning. So this is the surface preparation will contribute 60% to the quality of the paint. The application process what we adopt, that will have the 20% influence, and the choice of the painting systems will have the 10%, and the choice of the manufacturer, because it depends, the quality of paint, it depends on the manufacturer also. So that will have the influence of 10%. So if we take care of the surface preparation, then we can ensure a good quality of the painting. So here it is shown that how the surface of the grit blasted or shot blasted surface looks like. So the first figure shows the unblasted cell surface, how it is. So that marks, you can see that spot heating marks for leveling of this surface and improving the strength properties to the skin of this metal. And this is the process, grit blasting process being done on the old coach to expose the bare metal surface. And the grit blasted surface you can see in the third picture, and the blasted steel cell surface also you can see in the fourth photograph. Because you can identify when you see it closely, but it will give a rough idea here that how it looks like. So in the 5 steps what we have discussed, that is the surface preparation and applying the primer, that is the second thing. So the primer, so naturally what we are using for all kit paint system, this is the ROZC primer we are using, red oxide zinc chromate primer to IS 2074 2074 1992. And in the case of the PU paints, we are using this epoxy based zinc phosphate primer, that is the twin pack system. Base and hardener will be there. So we are having the RDSO specification. So I have the copy of this RDSO specification with me. I can share to you. So this primer, it will act as a barrier and makes the surface more paintable. It will adhere to the cleaned surface, and it will forms a base for the subsequent coats of this putty, undercoat, and also the top coats, and it will give a better adhesion also. Okay. So red oxide zinc chromate primer, it requires the extensive surface preparation. And this epoxy based zinc phosphate primer, it is a non-toxic and it has the very good weathering properties, and it has the excellent adhesive properties. So for PU painting, whether it is the primer or whether it is the undercoat or whether it is the enamel paint, all will come in the twin pack system only. Please remember, for PU painting, primer, undercoat, and also putty, and also this enamel paint, all will come in the twin packs. We have to mix it in a given proportion and we have to use it. And the putty, this is the IS 5083 1988. In this photograph, we have shown that putty applied surface of the cell. It is basically it is like a cement like a thing that is applied on the surface for leveling and all. If any undulations are there, that can be leveled by applying this putty. So in this putty for PU painting, this is the unsaturated polyester resin, and some pigments extenders are also will be there. And the pack B hardener will contain organic peroxide and some additives. So we have to mix all this as advised by the manufacturer. After the application of the putty, we have to go for the rub down of this putty, and again apply the second coat, again apply the filler, and then rubbing down in between. That process in detail I will show it to you. Here I have shown these figures. And the filler is also applied on the surface. These fillers that will fill any pinholes are there, any cracks are there, that will fill these fillers. So normally these fillers are like a talc or lime, barytes, clay, and when it is rubbed down, that will give a luster surface, that is the shining surface that will give. Okay. And if you are using this floor paints and all, that will be abrasive resistant fillers we have to use. For that purpose, the quartz is also used, because the PU paint and the epoxy paints are also used in the floorings and other areas of the buildings, and also on the roads. So many applications, the innumerable applications are there for this PU paint and epoxy paint. Okay. The undercoat. Again, this undercoat is also, this is the twin pack system. This is the undercoat applied cell. This undercoat, it will improve the adhesion between the primer and putty and between the top coats. This is the intermediate coat before applying the top coat, and it will protect the primer, and also it will provide the base for the finish coat or giving aesthetic look, and it will have the hiding properties, so it will give a good base for the enamel paint. And the top coat in case of alkyd paints, we are using this IS 8662-93. And the top coats, this enamel paint, this polyurethane paint and epoxy paints are different combinations, as we have discussed in the beginning. So it will have this polyurethane paint have the advantages over this alkyd paint. So it will protect the environment, and it will not allow the ultraviolet light, and any ingress of air and moisture is there, it will resist. And also it is resistant to the chemicals and corrosive fumes. So normally in the case of the alkyd paints, within a year this paint film will be damaged, and it requires the repainting. And mostly it is during the every POH we need to go for this painting of the surface or patching of the painting surfaces. So but this PU paint, as advised by the manufacturer, it will give more than 3 years. Normally expected is up to 5 years it is expected. But due to the problems, maybe in the surface preparation or in the application or in the tools, sometimes it will be less than that. But as per the manufacturer, it will give almost the 5 years life. And what is the infrastructure required for this painting process, we will see. So just for an idea, these photographs are shown here. So putty rub down, these are the grinders of various quality sandpapers, that is by the number. It may be 220, 320, 420, this 180 grade, as per the prescribed this thing is there. And sanders used for sanding of putties and primaries are shown here. Hand sanding blast at all. And spray painting booth is shown here, and also the airless spray gun. And mostly we are using for the paint application this airless spray guns we are using. And we are having the drying ovens to reduce the drying time. If you use the drying ovens, the drying time will be drastically reduced. So can anybody have an idea about what is the drying time required for drying of paint film before going for the second coat? After the first coat, how much time we should left for drying of that film? Anybody? So normally it will take 16 hours. With the drying ovens, it can be reduced to the 45 minutes. So that is why in our manufacturing units like RCF or ICF or MCF, these paint booths have been established, and also these drying ovens are there, so that the coach will spend only 45 minutes between the two successive coats. So that rate of painting is very faster, because the rate of production is very faster, and this also will add to that. And the first figure shows this is the what is the thickness of the painting, that is we can call it as a dry film thickness. So that dry film thickness is measured by the Elcometer. Elcometer is used for measuring the dry film thickness of the paint film. And how it works? So these Elcometers are used for magnetic materials and non-magnetic materials, and these gauges are different. So the one which is used for the magnetic materials, this Elcometer works on the principle of the electromagnetic induction. So that electromagnetic field is developed when you apply on the surface, and when the current cuts it, that voltage is EMF is produced, and that the voltage is calibrated in terms of the thickness of the film, in terms of the microns. So as the thickness is more, the voltage or EMF produced will be less, and that is in terms of the voltage microns. So that will show what is the dry film thickness. Okay. And for the non-ferrous materials, this is the eddy current principle Elco meters are used. We have to choose that Elco meter mode. And here it is shown where we use this microscope in the lab for observing the paint defects like pinholes, blisters and all. Okay. And the manufacturers will have, and also this our lab, our CMT lab will have this equipment. But Elco meter on the field we have to use. And the painting of coaches, first I will give you this sequence of operations in the painting of coaches. So in the PU painting of LHB coaches, so this is the sequence. So first we have to do the surface preparation, then the primer application. The initially putty will be applied on the joints, then the first and second coat of the putty application, putty rub down, and again the putty application. Normally 2 coats will be there, and if at all if it is required, you can go for any fine putty application also at certain locations where it is required. Then we will go for the again the primer application, PU primer. Then the filler, any spot filling pinholes are there, we will go for the spot filling. Then comes the PU undercoat and the first PU top coat application. And again the masking. Masking is wherever we don't want to paint, which are to be covered from that paint, then we have to do the masking, and then we have to go the second and final coat. After the second and final coat has dried up, then we have to demasking, like window bars or any threaded portions. All these requires the masking. And also when you are using the paint scheme on the surfaces, if you are giving any borders and all, then you have to go for this masking. So for the border areas, first it will be painted, then the mask, that is the putty, this one belt like putty is applied. Then over that second coat will be applied. After that this will be removed, that band will be visible distinctly after that. That is the masking and demasking. So in this process, once again I will tell, that is the surface preparation, primer application and the putty application, again the PU primer application. Then comes the filler, undercoat and then the top coat. This is the sequence of operations. Just all of us know how this painting is done. This is with the spray gun. He is applying the paint on the surface. Primer application after the surface preparation, and the primed LHB cell, how it looks, and the various types of tools used, that is the knives and for rubbing down these grinders, sandpapers, and this joints where this putty is applied on the EMU coach cell. And the mixing, these are the twin packs are shown here, and what is the base and what is the hardener. and the pneumatic air mixer by stating this is the properly mixed. Again, this painting quality is influenced by this mixing in the proper ratio for and it should be mixed with the properly. Okay, so that the paint shop people will have the experience and how to mix it. So all the painters are not allowed to mix this painting. Only highly skilled artisans are kept for this purpose. Other painters, they will just do the application on the coaches. So here it is the sequence. So we have to rub down the PU primered spot putty filled with 400 grade emery paper. So you know that as the grade number increases, it will become more and more fine. 400 grade emery paper. Then because of this rubbing down, the lot of dust is generated on the surface. Then that should be blown out with the compressed air. And some cloths are also there for this purpose. Okay. So remove the leftover dust with the dust bonding cloth, and then we have to mix the base and hardener of PU undercoat in specified ratio. Then we have to apply on the coaches, side walls, end walls and roofs with the help of a airless spray gun. This is the dust cloth is shown here. Yes, please. Yes. Yes, some disturbance is coming. Yeah, I have muted. Please. If any doubts, you can ask. But among yourself, you need not discuss. That finally we will discuss. All of us we can discuss finally. Okay. So this PU undercoat, we have to dry it. If you are drying it in normal atmospheric air, it requires the 16 hours. But in the oven, when it is dried at a temperature of 70 to 80 degrees centigrade, the 45 minutes is enough. This after this undercoat, we have to apply the paint. The same process between the subsequent applications, we have to dry that paint film completely. And this is shown here, this booth, paint booth in the manufacturing unit. These are the drying ovens. You can see that to increase the temperature, that lights are provided. Okay. And the sizes of the masking papers. And in between putty rubbing down, you can read it. The second coat is the final coat. So after that, you have to remove the masking and then carefully examine the masking marks or paint seepages, if any saggings are there, and that should be removed with the knives, and then again it should be patched up properly. So if at all any other defects are there, we have to observe it, and finally we have to rectify all the defects, and we should get the quality clearance from the inspection department. So after completing this painting operation, we can dispatch the coaches. Then normally the painting will be the last operation, final operation in the furnishing shops of production units. After that, the coaches will be dispatched if it is a final coat. This is the painting systems are discussed for PU painting system. So this is we have already discussed, but here we have given the specifically what is the specification used for this PU painting. So this is the RDSO specification. This is the Metallurgy and Chemical Directorate of the RDSO wing has given, that is the PCN bar 100 2006. These are the separate specifications for the epoxy zinc phosphate primer and unsaturated polyester putty and the PU undercoat and also PU full glass enamel. So we have to follow these specifications. And for the electric locomotives, PU system is also the same thing, same specification is used for the PU painting. So different color schemes are shown on the electric locomotives. So this is the enamel paint top coat for wagons. So wagons, we don't have all these 5 steps. We are having the only primer application and full glass enamel. Now we are giving the full glass enamel coating. So the railway board has recently, that is in 2018, that paint scheme of our wagons has been changed. Now for all railway owned wagons, we are giving the Gentian blue color to all our railway owned wagons, and privately owned wagons, pooled wagons, non-pooled wagons, like that different paint schemes as given. So here only 2 primer and enamel we are applying on the wagons. There is a difference between the locomotives, coaches and wagon painting, you may observe. These are the wagons. These are the old photographs. Now Firozi blue has come, and in place of the Firozi blue, and the latest it is the Gentian blue, RL 5161 color shade. So we are having the sizable population of the ICF coaches also. Here I have given the various specifications used for the alkyd system of painting of this ICF coaches. So initially ICF has developed these specifications, and these are all available with our drawing department, and also we can download it from the net. It is available on the net also for alkyd system, alkyd painting system. So latest ICF coaches are also with the PU painting. But in the specifications, small variation is there, and the specification numbers are given. Those who are working in the paint shops, they are very much familiar about what is the difference between the various specifications and various types. So we are having the RCF manufactured LHP coaches with different painting system, and ICF manufactured LHP coaches with different, and ICF manufactured ICF coaches at different painting schemes. So one should be careful while using these painting systems. So these are the paint schemes of the LHP coaches. So, and also I have just given the sequence of painting schedule of this during the POH of ICF design coaches with alkyd paint system. So this is available in our manual also. So these are the 5 steps will be there. That is the primer application, putty application, filler application, then this undercoat, top coat, all this will be there. It is a 9 days procedure. It is a lengthy procedure because we are doing it under the atmosphere, which requires a lot of drying time and all. Because now if you see the rate of POH, it is very high. The Lalagoda is doing almost more than 135 coaches per month. So actually, practically we are not giving this much time for the painting operation. we all know very well. But we should take care regarding the surface preparation and proper application of the paint. And we should not use this unpainted components due to urgency and all. That is the POH, and this is the C schedule. This is the 5-day procedure. Okay. Apart from this, we are having the vinyl wrappings. Vinyl wrappings are given on the surface. This Durento coaches, we are using the vinyl wrappings. Okay. So this is all about the painting of rolling stock. So I want to conclude this class. If anybody have the doubts, you can please ask.
Sir, how to identify polyurethane PU paint and alkali paints on the surface of the coaches?
It is written on the end walls which type of paint has been applied. So you can observe from the end wall markings.
Without seeing the end, how to identify difference?
Actually, for us it is not possible. You have to see that.
End only.
Somehow, yeah. From the year of manufacture, you can say, but it is not the right method. By seeing on the end wall only, you can find out.
The life PU paint 2 years only, sir.
PU paint, as I told, it depends on the how best we have done the surface preparation and how best we have applied the paint. But normally, as for the manufacturer, it will come more than 3 years. So almost 5 years it will come. So now LHB coaches are touching for shop schedule 2 after 3 years only. So minimum it will come for the 3 years. That is the 36 months.
Vinyl wrapping, sir. What for this, sir?
Vinyl wrappings.
What?
Voice is not audible.
Sir, what for vinyl wrapping, sir?
So vinyl wrappings are also the same purpose. So whether it is the vinyl wrapping or the painting, it is preventing the corrosion only, protection from the corrosion. So instead of applying the paints, this is the fastest method for applying these vinyl wrappings. Only thing is, every time, whether it is the vinyl wrapping or the PU paint or alkyd paint, surface preparation and application, that plays a major role. If you are not properly prepared the surface and you are applying the vinyl wrapping over the surface, then it will peel off. So all the
in railways, sir.
In railways,
This vinyl wrapping, are we using, sir, in railways?
yes. Our Durento coaches are with vinyl wrappings. Durento coaches, that texture you might have seen, that is the peculiar texture, unique. That is, so those are the vinyl wrappings what we have used. So most of the coaches are with the painting only, not with the vinyl wrappings. So vinyl wrappings, apart from our railway coaches, many places they are using that vinyl wrappings.
సార్ శ్రీకృష్ణ గారు
చెప్పండి సార్.
నేను సుధాకర్. ఏం లేదు, మనకి ఎల్హెచ్బి కోచ్లన్నీ స్టెయిన్లెస్ స్టీల్ బాడీ కదా.
అవును సార్.
దానికి మళ్ళీ పెయింటింగ్ పర్పస్ ఇది పెట్టారు, ప్రిపరేషన్ ఉండదు, వినైల్ ర్యాపింగ్ హార్డ్లీ 3 to 4 months లో పీల్ ఆఫ్ అయిపోద్ది. దానివల్ల యూజ్ లేదు కదా మనకి యాక్చువల్గా.
డెఫినెట్లీ బికాజ్ సర్ఫేస్ ప్రిపరేషన్ ఈజ్ నాట్ దేర్ అని ఏం చెప్పలేము. ఎందుకంటే సర్ఫేస్ ప్రిపరేషన్ ఈజ్ ఎ మస్ట్ ఫర్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్. బికాజ్ అగైన్ మనం డిస్కస్ చేస్తాం కదా, అట్మాస్ఫియరిక్ కండిషన్స్ కానీ డ్యాంప్ వెదర్ కానీ ఇట్లాంటి ఏదైనా ఉన్నప్పుడు మనకు ఎక్కడ కవర్డ్ షెడ్ కానీ లేదా ఓపెన్ ఏరియాలో చేయాల్సి వచ్చినప్పుడు సో నార్మల్లీ వీ టెన్ టు కంప్లీట్ అవర్ వర్క్.
నేను అంటున్నది అది కాదు, ఎక్సెప్ట్ ఈస్థెటిక్ అపియరెన్స్ ఎల్హెచ్బి కోచ్లకి పెయింటింగ్ అక్కర్లేదు అంటాను.
Yeah, you are right, because that is also coming paintless surfaces. Yes. So So that is also there. Paintless coaches also there. That may also come. Hello. Sunata garu చెప్పండి.
వింటానండి.
సరే. Paintless coaches, the next what we will see.
సరే సార్.
ఇంకా but this paintless coaches, again it is the different technology, like passivation we have to do it, like a mirror, like a surface finish that we have to achieve. Again the cost of production, that will matter. So whatever the method we choose, whatever the materials we choose, that will have the impact on our cost of the production, because that is the technology is already there, and we have tried also, but it is not commercialized. We are not doing on the regular basis. So, any other doubts? So, in the recap, I hope all of you will remember that what are the various steps we have involved, and that will, this class will give you some awareness about the various painting systems and the various types of paints and this PU painting system. So I will share two PowerPoint presentations. The one what I have discussed is in general we have discussed about the painting systems used in IR, and the one exclusively for the LHB coaches, with that will throw more light on the various process like grid blasting, salt blasting, with various figures it is given like this. And also you can observe this. This is the one kind of paint. Can you identify what is the name of this paint which is done in the inside of this LHP coaches, 3-tier LHP coaches? Have you seen this type of painting? Anybody? This is the Beariskin V60DB paint. Purposefully this is given for sound insulation and also for the thermal insulation. Because of this riding comfort, we are talking about the riding comfort. Riding comfort depends on the feeling of the passengers. So the sound and also that heat also will influence the satisfactory level of the passenger. So that is why this is the new paint, Beariskin V60DB. Its name is Beariskin V60DB. It is applied the entire interior surface of the coach cell, and most importantly it is applied in 3 mm thickness, and on the flooring it is applied this body bolster areas where this sound generation will be more. It is given up to 8 mm thickness. So this is the one type of paint, and this will resist this heat and also the sound insulation and thermal insulation it will have. And you can see that robotic grid blasting, surface preparation, it is the entire booth, and at the bottom also you can see that perforated holes are provided for collecting these shots and for reuse. So it is a program, it will apply on the surface of the coaches, how the surface is prepared. This is in the production unit. I am not talking about the in the workshops. You can see that is a grid blasted surface of the coach shell. This is the drying oven. Here you can see that all around the shed these lights are provided to maintain the temperature at 70 to 80 degrees. Once the coach enters it and it is exposed to 70 to 80 degrees temperature, then its drying time will be come down. So normally what I told, it is 16 hours if it is in the natural air, and it is the 45 minutes in the this oven. So manually he is doing. This is in the other locations. These are the blasting wheels for forcibly push these grates or shots. This is the blasting chamber. This is the shell cleaning with the compressed air. So other systems are almost same, but those